Guys, the day has finally come. Let's put some quail eggs in the incubator. So, I have 30 Bobwhite quail eggs. That's a lot of eggs. We're going to try to fit as many as we can in our Nurture Right 360 incubator. So I have my incubator set at a crispy 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit with a 45% humidity, and that is the correct temperature that you want for your quail eggs. So quail eggs do not take as long as chicken eggs. Chicken eggs take 21 days. Quail eggs take 18. So we're going to put all the ones that we can inside the incubator, start it up, set an 18-day counter, and you guys are going to follow along on the journey. So I hope you enjoy. Most of this is going to be time-lapse. Hopefully we get some of these eggs to hatch. I'm praying that I at least get, like, if I got 12, that'd be good. 12 out of 30, we'll see. Let's pop these in the incubator. So I've got 34 Bobwhite quail eggs in the incubator. You can fit more than the slots with quail eggs because the rotator still works. The eggs are so small. You just want to make sure that they turn. So if you overcrowd it, the eggs won't turn. Then they won't be fully produced and grown inside the eggs. So if you've never worked an incubator before, if you've never worked the Nurture Right 360 incubator, let me teach you guys how to do that real quick. So the Mana Pro Nurture Right 360 incubator is personally my favorite incubator on the market. I did a lot of research on this before I bought it, and it's worked really well for us. So there's two things on top. There's your Fahrenheit and there's your humidity. So depending upon what you're hatching, you need to look up what your Fahrenheit needs to be and what your humidity needs to be. How you adjust the humidity. Right down here, there are two sections that are Section A and Section B. Section B you fill up during lockdown, I'm pretty sure. And Section A is what I'm filling up right now to make sure that the humidity gets to 45%. And how you adjust the heat is right here. There's an open and a close knob. That's also really self-explanatory. If it's too hot, you know, open it up. If it's too cold, close it up. It'll get that nice and warm in there. But there's also an egg handler right on top, so you just put the egg in there, and then it allows you to check the growth. And then the menu OK button, if you hold it down, it'll allow you to enter in a setting. And then there's the menu OK button. If you touch it once, it'll show you how many days left on the hatch. So for right now, it's 18 days because that's how many I want for the quail eggs. And then there's a quick menu setting. So if you want to watch the eggs turn to do a test run to make sure that they're running properly, click the plus and minus button, and it will show you if the eggs turn properly. And the cool thing about this incubator is you don't have to turn your eggs at all. They will do it on their own with this egg turner. So if you're getting an incubator, I suggest you get this. And if you have any other questions on it, leave them in the comment section below, and I will, try to educate you guys as much as I can on it. But that's the incubator that I recommend. So without further ado, let's get into time lapse and hope that these quail eggs hatch. 5 days left in the incubator, and out of 35 eggs that we have put in here, 24 look like they're about ready to hatch. And if you've followed us on this journey this whole time, then you've seen the production rate and you've seen the growth, and it's really neat to watch. And that's why I like making these videos, because seeing life form inside of the eggs is just, it's just the coolest thing. So expecting these to hatch in 5 days. On the 4th day, we enter into lockdown, so tomorrow is lockdown. And if you don't know what lockdown is, it's basically no more opening this, no more candling, just adding water, making sure it's the right temperature and humidity, and these chicks are going to hatch within the next 4 days. So some hatch early, some hatch late. We're expecting within the next 4, 5, 6 days, within the next week, we're definitely going to start seeing some quail eggs hatching, and all of these are looking really good. I've candled them all just now and tossed out a few that did not make it, and that's always such a loss. It's sad to see them. Sometimes they grow to almost the full amount and then just can't hatch. Other times they only grow just a little bit, but either way, any amount of life inside those eggs is a tragic loss, because you know what, they tried but they just couldn't make it. So we're gonna break these open and I'll show you guys some of the development stages. So if you're not wanting to see that, none of these are big enough to be like dead chick size, but there might be some smaller babies in there. So viewer discretion, if you don't want to watch that, then fast forward to the hatching part. But for now, let's crack open these eggs that didn't make it, and then we'll watch the rest hatch. So here's an example of an egg that didn't even develop. You can see that it's completely yellow, and that there's no veins, no embryo, no nothing. But here's an egg. You can see the embryo, the mass, not a ton of veining though. So this one didn't make it very far. And lastly, another almost yellow one with that little spot of embryo. And it just didn't make it past days 3 or 4, I'd say. The yucky part about cracking open these eggs is they usually tend to explode because of the humidity and the heat levels. So some stinky rotten eggs are about to be exploded over this tree stump. So that's kind of weird. So this is just the, actually so disgusting. Smell pretty nasty, but I want to get out of here quick. But it looks like this one, this was the one that was just straight yellow. It looks like the yolk might have been open, like maybe the shell was cracked, because it looks like it's kind of cooked. It's kind of weird. I've never had that happen before, but I don't see any, there's no development in it. It just looks like a cooked egg yolk. And then right here, you can see the babies. Right here, let's see if I can get my camera right. Right here, you can see some of the chick. The development didn't make it very far, but it's still pretty sad to see that it tried. And then over here, right here, you can see the eye. This one was further along, but they just didn't make it. Some people might ask, well, why did you crack them open? Why didn't you leave them in the incubator longer? Like, what if they could have made it? So this is kind of a pick and choose situation. I could have left those in there longer, but the chances of them exploding is a lot higher of a situation. It's just not, it's not a nice thing to clean out. It just smells really bad. So did I do it for my own scent? I mean, possibly, but they were gone anyway. It's one of those things where when you're hatching out eggs, you gotta toss out what's not gonna go and keep what's gonna make it. Make room in the incubator for more, for the chicks to hatch, less for you to clean out later. So now we wait for those quail eggs to hatch. In these next couple clips, you're gonna see some quail hatching out of the eggs. So it's the next day, and I like to leave my chicks and stuff in the incubator for a little bit just so they can fluff up, that way they're not as wet, and all of these hatched around the same time, so they're all fluffy, they're all nice and warm. I think out of the 24 eggs that I have in here, there's 2 or 3 eggs that haven't hatched yet. I'll probably leave those eggs in there, and we'll get these chicks out and put them in a brooder. But first we got to get all that set up, and then we'll move these guys and we'll tell you how many hatched out. Well guys, it's been a few days, and we got 21 in the brooder box. They got a heat plate, some water, some food, and they're looking really healthy. I'm pleased with how these birds look. I haven't seen with quail, they're usually so fragile, but I think I've got the temperature just right in here. It must be just with summer and stuff. I think it's just warm enough for them to be running around. They are so small, but man, are they in good shape. So there's another one in here that hatched out, and he's in the middle there. You can see him kicking around. I had to help him out this morning because he was having a hard time getting out of that shell. So I had to go in and manually hatch him out. It looks like the egg shrink wrap a little bit, and that's something you got to watch out for whenever you're incubating eggs. Shrink wrapping is a thing, and it's what happens when you take the lid off of the incubator and there's eggs trying to hatch. And what that does is the membrane sucks onto the egg, onto the chick, and it'll trap them in there and they can't get out. So I had to help him out, but he's out. I don't know how he's going to be. He looks like he's stumbling to get around right now, but that might be just because he just hatched. I don't know. But 22 successfully hatched out of the 24 I had in here. We started with 30. But as time went on, I got rid of the eggs that hadn't developed. So out of 24 fully developed eggs, 22 successfully hatched. I don't think those other 2 will do anything, but that's a pretty good success rate. And I'm pretty pleased with how everything went. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you being here. This has been a journey, and I'm glad you guys could watch the whole process. It's a beautiful thing, and I hope this inspires you to incubate some of your own eggs. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. But for now, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.